What is going on YouTube? We are here for episode 2 of Insane Car Collections. I know you've all been eager and waiting for this episode after the first episode with Mel Streak. We're actually in quite a similar area of the UK, back in Kent, but we're with my good buddy and matey standing over here, Patrick Watts, and he's going to show us around his personal and incredible collection of cars. We've got touring cars, we've got little minis, we've got Porsches, we've got Jags, but I'm not going to ruin the surprise because there's some really cool bits. So stay tuned and come and have a personal tour around this legend, ex-racing driver's personal garage, and we'll go and have a look at the workshop as well. So let's go and have a look. Right, we are here, and I'm with my matey Patrick, and we're going to go and have a little look.
Let's see some cars.
Let's see some cars.
Right, we're going to start with, this is not actually mine, and that's not actually mine, but
Okay.
I've got mine over the other side, and it all started when I raced when I was 25 years old. I was a works driver for Austin Rover Group, and these are the mighty Metro Turbos.
Yeah. Amazing livery on these cars, and isn't this
Computer vision.
5 in the world or something in this livery?
They made 6 in the world. There are 4 in that one. This one did the British Touring Car Championship.
Yeah.
This one did the DTM, the German Touring Car
Yeah.
Championship, with Armin Hahn. And then these are like 280 horsepower.
Yeah.
They're quick. They're very quick. 10-inch slicks, very quick.
Fun to drive.
Yeah,
and they don't weigh anything.
And in fact, I was leading the British Touring Car Championship in '84 when Austin Rover Group pulled out.
Wow.
They pulled out because of the legality problems with a Rover they were running.
And
Rovers.
there's normally another 2 here, is that right?
I've got 2 over the other side.
2 over the other side.
Yeah.
2 over the other side. So we've got 4 of 6 in the world here. This is one of your old racing cars.
I raced this in '94 in the British Touring Car Championship. It's been all around the world. A friend of mine, bought this from Australia in bits and pieces, and we've taken it back to what it looked like in period.
Amazing. And we had this at Brands Hatch recently for the touring car event.
And it will be up again there next year.
Yeah.
This next year with an engine.
Super cool. Anyway,
Not with an
I
engine.
love this thing.
I love that car.
It's wicked.
I love that car.
500 SL.
Yeah, I got this for the wife because I sold her 330 convertible BM and got her a Discovery instead, and she said, I want a convertible car. So I like buying cars that are appreciated in value. Nice cars,
Clever.
nice condition, low mileage, appreciated in value.
Yeah.
And that means I can justify having all these cars because they're all appreciating, I hope,
It's
in
clever.
value.
Clever. But this is
500
great.
SL.
Top down, summer, fantastic
Lovely.
cruiser.
Again,
comfy.
big V8.
Comfy to drive.
Limo.
Yeah. So there you
Yeah.
go. British B
Soft,
roads.
soft.
Buy a 500 SL. Perfect. This is one of my. I love this thing. It's a 996 turbo.
996 turbo,
Yeah.
like the most
Not
underestimated
the S though. It's
Porsche.
just a turbo.
It's a Turbo S.
That's a
or,
turbo
or
S.
what they call the X50.
Yeah.
So it's 450 horsepower, 4-wheel drive. They're so cheap at the moment. These are going to go up in value. They're not the prettiest Porsche, but they are better than the
I think they
993.
look cool.
Well-
And people had a funny thing about these headlights, didn't they, for a while? But now, I think these are now appreciating a lot more than other models. But
Well, the base model was a bit of a problem because it had a problem with the engine. It was a non-Metzer
Yeah.
engine, but the turbo's the Metzer engine.
yeah, and you get a lot of use out of this as well, don't you?
I don't get much use out of anything. To be
Right.
honest, I jump in the i3 when I'm just going up and down the road.
You are an electric
I get in
car
a Range
fan.
Rover when I'm going on a long journey, and a very long journey, take the Sunbeam Tiger, but that's like when I'm going from Peking to Paris, but we'll get onto that later.
We'll talk about that one later, but I do love this thing. I think it's wicked. And ladies and gentlemen, a little backstory as to why this whole thing kicked off. Actually, if you followed me from the early days of TikTok, Patrick was actually the catalyst of what has happened to all my channels now. And the first viral video that we ever had was a video with this M5 Touring. This is just amazing, isn't it?
It's again, I bought this because I thought this is a car that's going to appreciate. Plus, it's got a V10, 5 litre, 500 horsepower, 8,000 RPM. Sounds like
It sounds incredible.
Sounds
and
fantastic.
200 miles an hour with your dog in the back.
2 or 3 dogs.
2 or 3 dogs, yeah.
It's lovely. It's got these seats that support you around the corners.
And it's lucky that you can build cars as well, because if anything goes wrong with it, then you can fix it, hopefully.
Well, nothing will go wrong because I never use it.
Because there'll be people in the comments going, oh, it's going to break. It's so unreliable, but it's a V10. And
they're fine. They're lovely engines. They're based on the Formula One engine.
Yeah.
It does drink the fuel.
It does
drink the fuel.
And there's a special story behind this car.
I bought this car when my dad died, like 15 years ago. He left me 35 grand. So, like, what do you do with 35 grand when you've got a mortgage and you're investing in a bit? You buy an E-Type Jag. So I bought the V12 E-Type Jag. It's low mileage. It's done 26,000 miles from new. Unrestored. The paintwork is all a bit dull, which is another word for it's got patina. A lot of them are over character. A lot of them are over restored.
Yeah.
I'd love to give this a paint, make it beautiful, but that would. At the moment, it's got a nice patina.
Yeah, and it's in pretty good nick. And
it's rust free. It's lovely.
Yeah. But you took me out for a spin in this, and it was brilliant. It was absolutely amazing.
We spun the wheels, didn't we? And
we did. We did a little skid in this, actually.
Again, this is a limo. This is very similar to the SL.
You can drift an E-Type Jag if you want to, people.
Well, with these little narrow turbo speed tyres, you can sort of slide it around the corners. 993.
993. And this was owned from new. Was it?
It was not owned from new.
No.
I bought this when I finished with Austin with Peugeot.
Okay.
I had to give back all the Peugeots, had to give back the wife's Peugeot. We got all these company cars when I was racing for Peugeot. And I thought, well, let's upgrade. Let's upgrade from a 407 coupe and get a 993. Always loved Porsches, had a SC before I was a professional race driver and got company cars. And so I got this. So
lovely spec as well. The blue on the silver wheels is fantastic.
Yeah, it's done 60,000 miles. When I bought it, it was almost new. It had done 6,000 miles.
Amazing.
It's now 60,000 miles. This has been all over the country when I was selling storage racking for my Acorn storage equipment business. And now it sits here, past glories, you know.
But it will see the road again soon.
Yeah, but do I take this out or do I take the turbo out?
Is it nice to drive?
It's tactile. It's tactile. Like all these cars, if you jump in the i3, that's the ultimate car where you can go one place to another without even know you're driving. This you know you're driving.
This you know you're driving.
Feel every gear change.
Manual box.
You got a heavy clutch. You can feel the road through the steering, which is the difference between a modern car and these old ones.
That's a perfect analogy of the difference between the two things. And a lot of people, the purists, they love that. They want to feel the road.
Yeah.
They want the manual box.
Yeah.
They like the smell of leather.
There's a time and a place, but
there is.
If you drove it too much, the novelty would wear off.
Yeah. And then moving on, we've got some little minis.
I love minis. I was born and bred in minis. I won my first championship in a mini. So why not have some minis?
Race mini?
1275 Appendix K race mini. I'm sharing that with Aimee now, and we have done Goodwood. We're doing Silverstone at the end of the year.
For some context, Aimee is Patrick's daughter, and Aimee does racing. She got into racing 3-4 years ago, and she's currently racing the Mazda MX-5.
Mazda MX-5
Super Cup, where she's doing very well for her first season. But Aimee has done some races in this, and yeah, it's fantastic.
She loves that as well.
She does love it.
It's a lot more expensive than the Mazda.
Yes.
This is
really special.
A dead standard 970S. Okay, it's got a Swift tune engine like the other one, but it's only mildly breathed on by Nick Swift. But it's an immaculate concours winning 970S, which was the homologation special.
Amazing.
They bought out the 970S to win the 1000cc class in the European Touring Car Championship and beat the Fiats and the this, that, and the other, and they won. This was a very quick car.
It's just in gorgeous condition.
Car.
I love it. And
this
finally,
car is an interesting. Well, this, funny enough, is also a very rare car because it's the Mark III Cooper S. And this car I bought in Denmark, and it was owned by one family who actually raced it. It was never really on the road. They raced it in what they call production racing. So it's got all the interior, it's got all the roof lining, and it apart from like they've fasten the bonnet on with this, that, and the other. It's got a full race engine with the SU, so it's not a Weber carbureted one.
Where did
it's
you buy
in period. Denmark.
You bought it in Denmark?
Yeah. Left-hand drive.
Left-hand drive, yeah.
And that's a race history Mark III.
Awesome.
Which you don't get many of.
You don't.
Because Mark III's weren't actually that competitive when it came to the 70s.
I don't know my old Minis very well, but I know if there are any old school Mini fans watching this, they will be
Jag.
loving these. Anyway, Jag.
This is
still for sale?
XJC. Everything's for sale? No, it's not for sale really.
It's not for sale.
XJC.
Yeah.
4.2. So it's basically got the E-Type with it, with a less one carburetor. Immaculate, again, concours. It's the pillarless coupe, so both these windows come down, leaving a big gap here.
Very cool.
This was the executive, not married yet,
bachelor cruiser.
Yeah, bachelor
sort of
cruiser.
style.
Yeah, I don't need 4 doors. I haven't got kids, you know.
Brilliant.
But it's a short wheelbase XJ6 basically.
Okay.
A little bit lighter. Again, it's a limo.
I mean, what does it weigh?
Probably
how much does it weigh, do you think?
It's not actually that heavy.
Is it
actually. No, compared with a modern car, because it hasn't got like electric seats and things like that.
1,600 kilos?
Probably less than that. I don't know.
I mean, it looks like it would weigh 2 tons, but you're right. The older cars aren't as heavy as the newer cars.
I mean, it probably weighs the same as a seat out of a Range Rover Discovery.
Very cool though.
But yeah, I love that car.
And then we've got Aimee's.
Well, that's Aimee's GR Yaris.
Aimee's GR. Yeah.
The reason she got this is because Daddy said it would be a good investment. So it's done 10,000 miles. It's now for sale. She loves it. She loves driving it.
They're brilliant fun.
She goes to work every morning about 15 miles with the dog. The reason she has to sell it, the dog doesn't like it. The hatchback is too small for the dog.
Doesn't like it. A big German Shepherd in a Yaris GR is quite a sight to behold, actually, when Aimee pulls up.
Poor old Coda hits his head on the back every time she goes over the bump.
But these are just wicked cars. Homologation special. It's like driving a little go-kart. It's like a little kind of rally car, isn't it?
It's technology at its best.
Yeah.
Uncompromised, because this was the car they were building for the World Rally Championship.
Yeah, lightweight, not overpowered, manual.
And so even the roof comes down, I think it's 100 mil lower than a standard Yaris. I think the only thing in common with a standard Yaris are the wing mirrors and the headlights.
That was it. It's all been completely built up.
Even the windscreen is different. Mm-hmm. It's a no compromise car for the basis of a rally car. Talking of rally cars, Sunbeam Tiger.
I mean, this is just very special. And everyone who's watching, we are going to be filming a series on this car, which will be launched on Patrick's Instagram, and I'm going to be doing some posting on it as well. But Patrick and his wife, Pam, will be doing the Peking to Paris rally in 2024, which is, 14,000 kilometres?
It's 14,000 kilometres. Going back to this car, I mean, I won the British Historic Rally Championship this in 2006. It's a very quick special stage car. It gets airborne a lot. It's got great traction. It's almost 50-50 weight distribution. It ran with a 260 Ford V8 in the Rally Championship, which is 4.2. I've now got a stroke 302, so I've got a 347, so basically 5.6 litres, 400 horsepower. It's got a Mustang gearbox. It's got the same axle as actually went in the Studebaker I used to have, and the same axle that goes in a DB4, DB5. It's a very, very strong basic car with a cruciform chassis. This is going to do 14,000 miles through like China, Mongolia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Georgia, and we are not going on motorways, we are going off-road.
Off-roading.
This is off-road for...
How long have you been building it for?
We knew about the rally about 2 years ago.
So it's been a slow project?
Yeah, I've had other things to do, but just recently I've realised that we've got to get it done and tested and tested and tested.
It's pretty much all the way there now, isn't it? Is it finished?
It's there, a few things, comfort things. We're getting Pirelli tyres on 14-inch wheels. It's on 13s at the moment. We've got to do a bit of off-road testing.
Yeah.
Something, keep the dust out and whatever. But yeah, it's lovely.
Everyone, watch out for more information on this car. We won't go in too much into detail now, but there will be a lot more content coming with this incredible Sunbeam Tiger soon. But anyway, that is the first garage, and now we're going to go and have a look in the workshop.
Oh, it's a bit of a mess in there.
Oh, that's okay. Right, this is where the magic happens. This is Patrick's workshop, set of workshops, because they do a lot of racing. Patrick's always building Aimee's cars that she's written off.
Mending them,
rebuilding them. But there's some very cool stuff in here. There's a few more bits and pieces in here, but some very cool machinery and other cool things. So let's kind of look. Another racer. And the Allard.
Got the Allard.
Forgot about the Allard. The sound this thing makes is mental.
Yeah, the engine's in bits at the moment. This is the workshop where I take things to bits and don't put them back together again for a long time. List of priorities. So that's in for engine out and mods on the engine.
But what is this? This is an Allard J...
That's the Allard J2 5.4 Caddy engine.
Yeah. And you've done some rallies in this, haven't you?
I did a Millimilia in it.
Millimilia.
It's raced at Goodwood. It's raced at Monaco. I've done Monaco a couple of times. I've done the support race to 24 Hours Le Mans. So I had the privilege of racing around Monaco. I had the privilege of racing around the Millimilia course that Sterling Moss did, and yeah, I did. Yeah,
wind in your hair.
It's fun.
You got to wear a full face helmet because there's no windshield.
I don't. I wear goggles.
You wear goggles.
An open face helmet. Old school.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah, it's got to look the part.
I actually went to Revival the other day. I really liked it.
Yeah.
First time. Do you know what? It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, the cameraman's backing up.
406 Super Tourer. Again, a waiting engine. It's dusty, but does clean up rightly.
I love this.
That's actually my car. That's the one I raced.
These are the colours that I know.
Australian Touring Car Championship. If you look on here, BOC Gas is Australian Super Touring. And I raced that over there when it was owned by Peugeot Australia. And 10, 15 years later, when Super Touring started to make a revival, I phoned him up. Have you still got them? He said, yeah, they're sitting in a shed, old boy, or Bruce.
I'll take it.
And I said, buy them all back.
Brilliant.
Yeah. This is the debris from building the Sunbeam Tiger, which is out of its normal slot. It's been sitting there for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Workshop in there with a lathe, milling machine and stuff like that. We can make anything here. I can make anything here. And if we're wondering here, again, it's a mess. We've just got back from Donington with the Mazda MX-5s. So just assessing each of the cars.
Okay.
Aimee's had a bit of a ding on the last race, but she continued on and she finished like second in class.
Very impressive. Well done, Aimee.
But she had to do a bit of accident avoiding on the first lap. So
straightening things up here.
Well,
crikey, that is a bit of a ding, Aimee. Aimee, what is this?
But the suspension's towing out. Like I've just assessed the car, so we know what to do to it. It's towing out 10 mil.
Okay.
And she said it was turning in well, but understeering a bit. So that makes sense. But yeah, that'll have a new door, new wing, new front end. It looks immaculate for the final race at Silverstone in 3 weeks' time.
So everyone tune in to watch that race.
Got a couple of Lotus Cortinas here underway.
Lotus Cortina shells. Any kind of
well, this one's a bit special because this car won the Brno, the Czechoslovakian 9-hour race in 1963. It's a semi-works car, aluminium bonnet, boot, doors, had a works axle. It's a proper car. So this is a winter project. When I took it on, it actually had it had been rolled. The roof was all dented, so it's now got a new roof on it.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do.
It'll be immaculate. It'll be perfect. This is all laid out because I've got 2 mini body shells out there, and they're Mark IVs, so they're not very desirable. This is a package I bought for like 2.5 grand,
Okay.
with 2 mini body shells and all this stuff, and 3 engines. So if I can put it together as a desirable package for someone that wants to save a bit of money and
Wheeler dealers.
build a Mini.
Yeah.
So
Flogging bits.
that's why everything's spread over the floor here.
There you go. And then the missing
We've
two
got
Metros.
2 more Metro turbos. Let's move my old mum's tea trolley.
Your mum's tea trolley.
It was. Cakes, anybody?
Being put to good use.
Cakes, anybody? But these cars are ready to race.
Ready to race. And these are owned by someone else. You look after these for someone.
No,
is that
that
right?
one's 34's mine.
34 is yours.
Yeah. Still the original paint from period. That is not a sticker. That is painted on.
Could you make these road legal if you wanted to?
No. No.
Because it'd be quite fun on the back roads, wouldn't they?
They are out and out race cars.
Yeah.
They are, I mean, ultra stiff suspension, 10-inch wide slicks, big 6-pot caliper brakes, adjustable anti-roll bar. Gearboxes have to be rebuilt every 4 hours of racing.
Crikey.
Because of the power going through them. So
Not hugely reliable then.
not a road car. No, very reliable as a race car.
As a race car.
You know, but a lot of highly tuned race cars have to be maintained. It's only when you get into production saloons like the Mazda that you can actually sort of change the oil every 10,000 miles. As long as you lose motor, that's it, you know.
There you go. And anyway, that's it, isn't
Sorry,
it?
it's a bit of a mess, but you know, this is a workshop.
The main bit was not a mess. It was lovely in there. It was brilliant. Well, thank you anyway for showing us around.
Jamie,
My good mate.
thank you very much.
I hope you all enjoyed this simply outstanding collection of
Watch out for the Tiger on this
mental
rally.
cars.
Starts next May, June, and we're doing 14,000 Ks through some of the most inhospitable parts of the world. Hope to make it.
Right, that was Insane Car Collections episode 2 wrapped up. I hope you all enjoyed the episode with Patrick Watts, looking at his absolutely incredible collection of touring cars, Porsches, Minis and everything. If you have an insane car collection that I can film, please feel free to get in contact. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please drop a subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, and see you all in the next one.